Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning to every man, every woman, every child around the world, no matter what race, no matter what the language. Good morning to everyone. And may you all have the most beautiful day that you could possibly have. And before we start, there's a few changes, but the videos, like I said, and these are for people who have come to me, who have said, I'm off social media, and every so often I'll come on and I'll check to see if you uploaded a new video. And to those people who have watched this channel, thank you so much. Thank you so much, because like I said, it's not about likes, and life shouldn't have to be that way. And if you're going to help somebody, there shouldn't be a price tag with it. And if you're going to help somebody, it shouldn't be like, let me help you for the rest of your life and manipulate you to follow someone. On this channel, we promote leaders, and leaders don't need a fan club. Leaders lead, and leaders do not follow. So I'm happy with that, because at one point I had, I had reached a point of 300, views, because like I said, subscription really never mattered to me. It's not about money. And 3/4 of those people left because I said, I don't want you here if you're using this content to, in a negative way. I don't want you here. So let those people go, because that's a good thing. But there are a few bad people who still linger within the channel. And the one thing that they couldn't stop is all the videos that are prior on that playlist hold true forever, because they go according to the laws of nature. So before I get into this topic, I also want to say another reason why I don't post videos, like I used to. Because what we're finding now is that, free speech is banned. So you can't be honest, because all it takes is for one person out there who is an evil person that, they do the things that I say in my video when I speak about the evils. And this is what this topic is today. They do these things, so they try to undermine anything that's good. Because remember, the 3/4 of the people that I lost, that's the 3/4 of the world that we live in today that is complete pure evil. Even though they might come to you with a smile, even though they might come to you and do little things, these people are evil behind that mask. So, to see those numbers, it justifies what I've been saying from the start, as well as what other people on YouTube have, who have been speaking out in the world have been saying. And the crazy thing about that is people from all different walks of life, all different races, saying the same thing. So, the reason that I'm saying this is because all of social media now is they're banning people. Whether you upload, whether you're going live on a channel, they'll cause all different interruptions that are coming. This tells us that we're dealing with something that's not human. And I can say this till I'm blue in the face, but you say it every week if you're religious and you go into a church. You're saying the same thing, but when they walk out, it's like no. So that's a hypocrisy. And but one thing about the truth is social media knows who's telling the truth about what's really going on in this world, and they're shutting it down. They're distorting the videos, making it impossible for you to upload the videos. So many different little technical things, but at the end of the day, it just confirms what all of us have been saying. And the crazy thing about this is, it's not just somebody simple like my channel. It's people who have millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers. They're doing it to them too, because like I said, nobody wants the world to wake up, especially those who control what's going on. So that's another reason why my videos are far and few, because it's hard for me to go and load into different sites. So like I said, I've reached the people who I need to, and the videos that I've already uploaded, they hold true to the end of time. So today's topic, and you didn't hear me say click like or subscribe. I care less. Listen to the message, and if you like the message and you get something from the message, carry that with you, and what you can use, apply it to what your everyday. But the thing is, never let anyone lead you, because everyone only has a key to the puzzle. Nobody has a complete puzzle, so nobody has a complete answer. The answers of life lies within you. So today's topic is, this world has gone evil. If I was a religious person like that, I would say give me an amen. But like I said, I go straight to the Creator. The world has gone evil. So let's talk about this. So we got, in this topic, we're going to talk about bad people. So number one, we're going to talk about privilege. And we have the perfect example to talk, and again, this is fair use, educational purposes only, but I'm speaking on the missing girl whose family, she was going on a cross-country trip. And when we talk about privilege, so we're going to talk about privilege, we're going to talk about law. Law applies differently to people of color, especially people of my color. It applies differently. So when I experienced that video where the guy had scratches on his face, the girl had a bruise on her face, she's, hysterical, we would have been arrested. Person of color, you would have been arrested. 2.2 seconds. However, this is where privilege goes wrong, because privilege, karma is a MFer. And karma said that, those policemen sat there and they applied privilege to somebody that visibly had some scars that, take you in the station, let you prove that to a judge, let her prove that to a judge. That's how we get treated. But no, they had not only allowed this man to leave, they brought him to a hotel where the woman could stay in the car and the woman's missing. How'd that work out for you? How'd that work out for you? So there's a penalty to this privilege thing. So it doesn't matter. Karma is a MF. And, I pray, as well as the people who watch this video, who are subscribers, and as well as the world, we pray for people like this, because we understand that it's because of the hypocrisy that these things happen, where they could be prevented. But again, privilege is a MF. How is that working out for you? So, number two, let's go for corporations. Corporations, they're around the world, they cause so much destruction. How many of you are aware that wars don't take place because of weapons of mass destruction? They don't take place because of human rights violations. Those are excuses. The reason these wars take place is because it's corporate, all corporate. And how many times have we seen in the past, in the history, of how people who started these wars capitalized from these wars? Their families profit from these wars. So it doesn't matter what color you are, you're still dying in that battlefield. How's that privilege? How's that privilege? So let's take it one step further. You got medical, pharmaceutical, where they push these drugs, and they do it legally with the blessings of the country that they're in, knowing that they cause so much death, so many robberies, burglaries, murders, everything that comes from the drugs that they're peddling. But yet and still, when it comes to them paying out, you made almost $1 trillion. You're $1 trillion entity, and you made billions off of narcotics. And then you determine how much of that money you want to pay out to the people who lost loved ones, and not just one color, but all different people from all walks of life, all around the world. How's that privilege? So let's get deeper. Let's go to good people, because there's no difference. And like the title says, the world has gone evil. The world. So let's go with good people. Good people, they do what they're supposed to do. They're quiet. They tend their lives and everything else. But, in conversation, they'll say, oh, well, we need to go into China. We need to go into the Middle East. We need to go into these countries. For a person, anyone that's in this world that says something like this, then every night at 6 o'clock, the news should show you these mangled bodies. The news should show you, these innocent children who have been killed. That's what you should get to see, because your comment doesn't show you the reality of what's taking place. So it's just a simple comment that you're making, but you don't have to look at the blood. How's that privilege? Because it's not one race of people that's dying. It's all races of people who are dying from all over the world. How's it working? So let's go. Good people sit back and, like what I just got through saying, they'll sit back and they blame. Oh, it's not my fault the relationship is failing. It's not my fault that, these people are terrorists. It's not my fault that, this is happening or that's happening or this happening, because good people don't see themselves as bad because they didn't pull a trigger. They didn't inject the drug. They didn't rip off millions of people. But it's all within your comment that you approve these things happening. But when they happen to you, in your bank, you go to your bank and your bank has no more money, you sit back and you're like, oh, what am I going to do? Well, you approve this. So when you approve one thing, the person who's handling your money, he's saying, wait, I'm going to get a cut out of this too, because they're ripping you off, so why don't I get a cut too? And I'll rip you off too. So how's that privilege? Okay, so, when we talk about, different things that are happening with different races, where, you have rape, you have murder, you have hate, you say, well, I'm not that person, so, I can't really comment on what's going on. But you are that person, because the lack of comment is what is allowing these things to happen. But you don't turn on the 6 o'clock news to see the end result of that little simple comment that you make. So good people, we're good up to a certain extent, because I consider myself a good person. But what makes me different from other people is I'll turn around and I'll say what the reality is. And I want to use an example of that, of a friend that I had. We were talking about a falling down tree. And the friend said to me, and I think the person who's watching this too also thinks that I'm talking about them, but I'm not. Another friend that, we were talking, and a tree fell. And he goes, the first thing he said was, well, because the ground is so contaminated, I was so happy. But then again, I try to choose wisely. Choose the people who are around you. Choose people who are pure. Because people who have light, they don't want anything from the world. They want to see the world in a better place. They don't hold negative energy. And there's people that are around me that they might have that negative energy. But then again, like I say, everybody has the ability to have light. So we don't give up on those people. But just the fact that, instead of saying, wow, that you're right, the tree did fall, or, wow, that kind of messed up. Maybe that's from the storm. But to say that the ground was contaminated says that he's saying that we contaminated this. We've made it possible. So this is the type of person that I am. So when he said that, I said, wow, I got to give you, shook and, congratulations, for saying it in the way that you said it. And that's how we take back this world, good people. Take back this world by saying we realize, in every answer, we realize what it is that you're saying. But at the end of the day, this is the reality of it. So you're leaving that person with the opportunity to walk away from it, or to turn around and to think and to say, you know what, you might just be right. Let me look into that. That's how change comes. But like I said, most people won't say anything because we live in a world today where everybody's offended over everything. Everything. Men and women are more like children. The children are almost like adults. The laws of nature have been flipped. So let's understand that. Let's go into relationships. A good way to understand relationships, because a misconception, and this is for the women all over the world, the women. There's a movie, educational purposes only. I think it's the title, Fair Use. There's a movie that's called Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And I want to say the lie that is here today, if you watch that movie, they're telling you the truth of why things are the way that they are today. In Fast Times in Ridgemont High, there was a guy in that movie. He had a crush on this girl, beautiful girl, used to go to her job, see her every day. Even though he didn't have the money to do it, he put money aside just so he could go into that store to buy something. I don't even think, thinking back on the movie, I don't even think that the guy, could use anything that was inside that store. But he did it for her, loved her unconditionally, loved her without even really having intimate conversations, contact with her. So he wants to be with her. He's nervous to ask her to say, hey, let's, can you come out for a date? Beautiful girl. Now, there was another kid that was in the school. He was the bad boy. He was the one who everybody in the school, everybody wanted to flock to, and he was the cool guy. What we call today, he was like, even though he wasn't a pretty boy, we called them pretty boys. Because pretty boys are either, they got the looks, they got the family with the money, or they are, they hustle. And in this case, in Fast Times, he was a hustler. So he always had a little money, always had what everybody needed. He was the go-to guy. This girl wanted to be with him. With him. So the moral of the story is that, and the guy who liked her, she blew him off. Well, that guy that she was blowing off was guys like me. Guys like people that I grew up with. The majority of the people that I grew up, who weren't treating women like dogs, who weren't cheating and sleeping around. It was a very small few that was in my school who had that reputation where all the women flocked, and then they flocked to these guys. And then at the end of the day, we hear today that all men are bad and this is what they do. No, you're talking about the few guys that you chased. You're not talking about the guy who stood outside the store, who was trying to work up the courage to go in and talk to you. And then when he did go up and talk to you, you still ran off to the guy who had it all. But what happened when you went and got the guy who had it all was he ended up getting the girl pregnant in high school. She had to get an abortion. He didn't even give her the money. Didn't even give her the money. Not only after he slept with her, he didn't even talk to her no more. So that's a girl who's butt hurt for the rest of her life. And then she teaches this to her children, so that her daughters grows up thinking that all men are bad, but all men are not bad. Watch Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Fair use, educational purposes only. But if you want to see the truth, and the thing is, the reason I'm saying this is because we have an obligation. Because our generation failed our children. because we didn't stand up for anything. But we also have an excuse because we watch people die, be killed for speaking up for what was right and wanting the right things. But what was our obligation to them? To lay down and to die with those people? No. We have an obligation now to tell the truth to the children. All men are not bad. All men are not dogs. But they capitalize on this. So this is all they push, propagandize. They propagandize the bad men. And my thing is, you know, in my race, there's so many good, positive men that are doing things. Billionaires, billionaires. But how many interviews are you seeing about these people? They want to show you rappers, gangsters, everything else underneath the sun. But at the end of the day, it's propaganda. And we have an obligation to tell the truth, especially when it comes to how the way women feel about men. It's because of all those people that you chased that were beyond your reach, and now, you know, you're butthurt at everybody else, so that the guy who's standing outside the store can't even begin to talk to you. But the thing is, time goes by, and the guy that was outside the store who wanted to work up the courage, he doesn't even want you anymore. And this is a reason why a lot of women are hurt, because everything has to happen like this. So, let's talk about the loss of identity. And this is more exclusively to men. Men have lost their identity. Men have become so emotional. I'm not an excuse. It took me years to become, and I didn't become alpha until my later years, until I opened up my eyes. And it took a woman to open my eyes. Because I was like, in a relationship, I was true to a relationship all the way through the relationship, true. But still, there was no truth on the opposite side. Even though I was a kid in the candy store, where I looked up and I raised this woman, I will never, and I say to you, whether man or woman, never raise anyone up above you. Because that's where this is the loss of identity. You have to know who you are. And most people today don't know who they are because there's so much propaganda to put you into a delusion. And we're finding this delusion is not just on a me and you basis. There's a powerful base that says we send algorithms all around the world to divide people, to divide mankind. So peace will never come. Love will never come because it's all in us to turn around to say no. So this is why the world has gone evil. You know, and for those who want to wake up, we're getting ready to go into another war. That's another topic. So we don't go for love. We don't promote peace. It's like when the formation of the United Nations and all these other charitable organizations and political movements, nobody's promoting peace. Corporations run the world, pharmaceutical run the world, and the defense runs the world. So how do they make money? Division and war. So I had to put that out there. Only because, like I said, you know, time is getting short as far as being able to speak, because free speech is no longer here. You know, they're removing it. But I just had to share it because I'm watching the world go evil. I'm watching good people walk around with masks. I'm walking around with family members who are doing the same. And, you know, these are things that they go so far against the laws of nature. So far. So we have to try to do what we can. And I had to get on here. I had to say something. My videos have become far and few, but at the same time, my videos will always, you know, come on there and look. Because as long as I'm able to put something up, I'm going to put them up. For the people on Facebook, I apologize about not going, you know, to greet everyone like I used to. But as I said, every day I have to go through so much just to get into Facebook. Every day I have to go through so much just to get into Messenger. Every day I have to go through something just to upload a video. And they're doing this because they don't want truth to come out. They don't want people to wake up. Because when you wake up, they lose money. So that lets you know that they could care 2 cents about you unless they're making 5 cents. So with that, everyone, have the most beautiful day and be motivated to be the best person that you can be and speak up positively for all people, not just one. And let's not be fast to jump on bandwagons. So with that, everyone, have the most beautiful day. Have an awesome day. With that, everyone, peace and blessings.